Hello, and welcome to AstroSagas. This week we're doing the horoscope for September 30th through October 6th, which includes Pluto going direct in Capricorn, which will feel especially powerful for those cardinal signs, which are Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra. Be especially careful of your horoscope this week because Pluto going direct will be a very personal change in energy to you. And of course, I can't forget Scorpio, who is ruled by Pluto. You will be feeling this very powerfully as well. But all of us will be feeling the change this week because Pluto is a very slow-moving planet and it hasn't been in Capricorn for over 200 years. And the last time Pluto was in Capricorn was during the American Revolution. 1760s to 1770s was Pluto in Capricorn, and it is a time of great change in governments. If we can think about what was happening historically during that time, we know that the American Revolution as well as the French Revolution started during this time. So this is a time of upheaval and change in institutions and structures around us, which we can easily witness in the United States, but also personally. Each one of the archetypes of the zodiac and each one of us personally is going through a lot of internal transformation as Pluto, which is kind of like a laser, getting rid of all the mediocrity and all the fear and all the instability that we hold, gets lasered out of our lives. And like literally, it's like a really fine-tuned tool for transformation. And so Pluto is going through each one of our personal lives and making clear headway through some of the patterns that we've been holding on to so that we are all ready for self-agency and stepping into power. So that is the theme of this week. Stay tuned. Con mucho, mucho amor. Aries, welcome to the beginning of October and also the beginning of Scorpio season. Even though the sun is not going to move into Scorpio for another few weeks, we have Pluto going direct in Capricorn on October 3rd, and planets starting to move into Scorpio this week, including Mercury moving into Scorpio. And so for us, this is about taking the transformation and the process of change in your life seriously and integrating for yourself the layers that you're being asked to shed right now. Specifically, if you are an Aries born between April 9th to April 16th, you are gonna feel this Pluto going direct very personally. This is a once in a lifetime transit. Pluto will not be revisiting Capricorn again for over 200 years. And so this is a lifetime that you have chosen to shed some of the layers in your life and specifically shed some of the mediocrity that you have accepted as part of your fate. Because when we take on certain jobs, certain professions, even certain connections, sometimes we're just doing it out of safety, out of security, and out of a desire of trust. Even us Aries can fall into that kind of pattern because we really want security, especially in times of chaos as we are in right now. But we are all going to feel this Pluto direct in Capricorn, which is slowly breaking down all the structures and all the infrastructure that has been built before. Everything that is standing on a bunch of platforms built from habit and not from true resonance are crumbling now. And so for you, this is your chance to center your transformation and make sure that every connection and every desire that you have is manifested now. And anyone who gets in the way of your particular transformation and your journey is gonna feel the burn this week. So be careful, especially on October 4th, when Mars moves into Libra, to have very careful and deliberate communication with the people in your life that you love, because there is a high chance that you are going to be communicating your need for space in a way that will be less than pleasant. So if you find yourself getting agitated or frustrated at people because they are getting in your way, make sure to take a breather, relax, and keep an eye on October 3rd or 4th of this week, which will feel very powerful and which are moments of deep transformation, but don't need to be full of conflict. Good luck. Con mucho, mucho amor. Tauro. Welcome to the very beginnings of Scorpio season, Tauro. Even though the sun will not move into Scorpio for another few weeks, you already have Mercury moving into Scorpio, which for you is your house of romantic partnership and collaborations. So if you're single, you might meet somebody new this week that will actually inspire you to open up some connection. Even if you have not felt the desire to have any kind of intimate partnership before, starting with Scorpio season and starting this week, you're gonna feel a shift in energy as you open yourself up to the possibility of a connection with someone who is inspiring and who really models for you the kind of person you want to be. Pay attention. This is also the week where Pluto starts going direct in Capricorn, which for you means a continuation of this narrative about who you are as a person and your place in the world. What does your skill set and what does your talent really give back to the community? And how or where is your place in your proper place in society? These are the bigger questions that you're asking right now, and people that you invite into your space might give you some insight. Pay attention. Con mucho, mucho amor. Géminis. This is the week where you really want to take good opportunities for creativity and expansion and capitalize on them. Because this week you have both Mercury and Venus in your 5th house of romance and creativity and inspiration. And this won't last for long, because as we move into Scorpio season, you're going to be focusing more on your creative output, your daily work, and your daily grind. So if you have somebody in your eye, if someone's caught your attention, make sure to make a move this week, especially around October 3rd and October 4th, when Mars moves into your 5th house and Mercury moves into your 6th house. This is the time to open up a new connection and integrate that capacity for socializing into your daily life. Moving forward into the rest of this year, you're gonna be doing a lot of work and a lot of inner transformation. So now is the time to take some creativity, some inspiration, some joy, and let yourself have a little bit of fun. You need it. Con mucho, mucho amor. Cáncer. This is a very important week for you, Cáncer. So pay attention to your connections and your relationships. Pluto is going direct in Capricorn, which for you is a Pluto opposition. It's a moment of internal crisis, especially if you were born between July 10th to July 17th. You're gonna feel this particular Pluto direct season very personally. And so the questions that are being asked of you now are your relationships here for the long run? Do they stand the test of time? Do you feel like you are growing in your reciprocity? Do you feel like the people in your life are ride or dies? These are very important questions for you right now, and things that you're really considering, especially when looking at those very intimate connections that you have in your life. So if you need some perspective or you need something to compare your connections to, look to your family. Look to your friends. Look to the chosen connections that you bring into your life for how you like to be taken care of, how you like to take care of others, and how you like to be supported. And make sure that you're not replicating any patterns from your family, that you're actually trying to live out and live through and let go. Make sure that the relationships that you are bringing into your life now are about releasing the patterns that have been damaging to you that you no longer want to participate in. So this week, connect with family, connect with roots, connect with grounding, and make sure that your connections feel inspiring, vibrant, and comforting when needed. Good luck. Leo, your body is trying to communicate with you this week, Leo. Pluto goes direct in your 6th house, so this is the house of daily work, daily grind, and physical health. And the reason for that is that we see the body as your co-worker in this world, because your body is the physical vessel through which you move through the physical realm. So your body holds a lot of the metaphors, the unconscious energy, and the memories of trauma and living experiences that you've gone through that have not yet been processed, that have not yet been released. So this week, if you have some kind of physical issue, say you slip and fall and sprain your ankle, or you have some kind of thing where you bump your head and you get a headache for the whole week or for a whole day, which happens to me a lot, then you should pay attention to these messages as messages from your body, places that you should pay attention to, especially if you have chronic pain in certain areas. You might want to take a look at to what energetic level that particular body type speaks to. Because within your body and within the restrictions and limitations of your body are messages about your energetic path, about your spiritual development, and about the emotional hang-ups that you're still hanging on to. So please pay attention this week, because as Pluto goes direct in your 6th house of health and daily work, it's moving towards the Pluto-Saturn conjunction of January 2020, which will happen in your health, in your body, and in your daily grind. So you want to pay attention to what's coming up now so that you're ready for that moment next year. Good luck. Con mucho, mucho amor. Virgo. There are 2 things happening this week that I really want to tell you about, Virgo. Number 1 is that this is the last week that you have to work out any details about your resources, your finances, your time, your energy, and your self-worth. You have 4 planets in your 2nd house of resources and wealth right now, and so that means this is the time to focus on anything that you need to shift in order to feel fully appreciated and like your worth is being valued by the people around you. So if you have relationships or connections that don't feel like you are being recognized for the value that you bring, make sure you make those corrections this week. And if you need to have some kind of communication with your employers or with your place of work to make sure that you are being adequately compensated for your time, this is the week to have that conversation. Number 2 is that Pluto goes direct this week and is moving steadily towards the conjunction point with Saturn in January 2020. And for you, this happens in the 5th house of creativity, spontaneity, and the inner child, which is a place of difficulty for you, Virgo, because Virgo really likes to feel like they're in control. And the fear of losing control or losing the attention to details or losing your capacity to control the environment around you is exactly what needs to be released right now. You want to step into trust of yourself, trust of your inner curiosity, and trust that what will be yours is yours. You just need it to come in the proper time and in the proper place. So instead of trying to force situations or control situations in order to see the outcome that you want, you need to let it go, let it be, and trust that things will come to you when you are ready. Good luck. Con mucho, mucho amor. Libra. Welcome to the first week of October, Libra. And for you, the beginning of the next chapter of your whole life, especially if you're a Libra that was born between October 12th through October 17th. This Pluto direct in Capricorn, which happens on October 4th, is going to feel very personally directed at you. And what is being released at this time, because the Pluto-Saturn conjunction of 2020 is about release of fear. And release of fear in Capricorn for Libra is about releasing the fear that you need to be accepted by everyone around you in order to have good relationships and good time and prosperity in this world. Libra is really structured around the idea that you want to have balanced and proper relationships with every single person, which a lot of times translates to wanting to be liked by everyone, wanting to be supported by everyone, and wanting to be accepted by everyone. And a lot of times what we're looking at is feeling rejected or feeling like you were ostracized when you were a child or when you were very young. or you were in relationship with family members that felt like they really didn't accept you. For any one of these reasons, Libra is the energy of looking for that acceptance in other people and looking for that balance in other people. And this is exactly what needs to be let go. Because as many of you start making your plans around the proper home that you want to have, the setting that you need, and the grounding necessary for you to grow, you also want to take a look energetically at what you're bringing to that space, which is your memories, your trauma, and your inherited patterns at home. Make sure that you are addressing this as well, so that you don't need to look for acceptance in other people, but can instead start giving that to yourself. Good luck. Con mucho, mucho amor. Scorpio. It's about to be your season. Can you feel it? Pluto goes direct in Capricorn this week, which Pluto is your ruling planet. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So this planet going direct is going to feel energetically different to all of you. For some of us, Pluto going direct only affects like certain parts of ourselves or certain people who are born on certain days when they have very direct relationships to Pluto. But for you, as your ruling planet, this is going to feel like a very personal shift. And Pluto going direct in Capricorn lands in your third house of communication, which means that for you, you have got to learn how to be flexible and open in your communication with others. This is a time of change, and it's a time of change in the archetypes. A lot of us are feeling a shift in the way that we think about the world, in the way that we think about ourselves, and this also includes the zodiac signs. You, Scorpio, have been known for being very guarded and very closed and very secretive, but I really feel intuitively that this archetype is shifting for all of you. This is a week that it's going to be very apparent that what's needed now is flexibility, is openness, and is trust in your vision, trust in your emotional capacity to tune in to the reality around you and speak to it effectively. No longer do you need to hide behind what you see and just let people know in private the stuff that you're looking at. Instead, we really value your insight. We value your courage, and we value the strength that you have to interrogate your own sense of self. So bring that forward this week and really share your insight. Be open, be flexible, and tell people what it is that you need right now. Because if you're looking for help in particular areas, you need to let people know what it is that you want so that they can offer it. And in being able to receive that offering from people in your life, you will recognize that this flexibility and openness is the way to move forward. Good luck. Con mucho, mucho amor. Sagittario. Welcome to the first week of October, Sagittarius, and for you, a circle back to a focus that may not be so fun, which is focusing on stability and focusing on your ability and your capacity to meet your own needs. You have been struggling with finances, with resources, with proper time and proper energy this year, and that is because Pluto is going direct in Capricorn, which Pluto is a very slow moving planet, and Capricorn is the archetype of structure. So at this time, many of us are facing the restructuring of our own personal agency. And for Sagittario, which is usually about adventure and travel and novelty and new experiences, you might be feeling very limited and very struggling in that space where you don't feel like you can actually reach into the things that used to give you joy because you're too busy worrying about your stability and your grounding and your footing. And so I challenge you this week, Sagittario, to commit, which is really hard for you to do. And I'm not asking you to commit to a person, a situation, or a place, but to commit to your own ideal of the proper way to be in this world. How do you want to treat yourself, and how do you want to treat others? And what is your guiding principle for actions? What is your moral code? That is what you need to find commitment to now, especially in times of struggle, especially when things feel chaotic, especially when you feel destabilized. These are the moments where having a very good sense of grounding in your sense of self, in your sense of worth, and in your sense of the moral guides that you are following. This is what you need to commit to, and this is what you need to clarify for yourself now as Pluto goes direct in Capricorn and restructures how you think about your self-worth. Good luck. Con mucho, mucho amor. Capricornio. There are two things happening this week, Capricorn, and I want to tell you about both. First is that you're finalizing your travel plans. So if you had any plans to travel, any plans for adventure, or any plans to move, they should be finalized by October 4th this week, when Mars moves from your house of travel and movement to your 10th house of career, which is the same day as the number 2 thing this week, which is that Pluto goes direct in your first house on October 4th. So especially if you're a Capricorn who was born between January 8th to January 13th, you are going to feel this very personally. And this is a time of integrating personal power and personal agency. So as you move into new situations or you move into new environments, you want to feel energized, engaged, and ready to meet whatever challenges come at you. Just make sure that if you encounter any frustration or any limiting blockages and roadblocks this week, that you react with patience and with calm, because you have to realize that you are moving forward very quickly. And so there are going to be roadblocks in your way, so that you remember to take proper pace as you move into this new environment. So don't react with frustration, and do not react with highly competitive or energy that is like full of conflict. Remember that this week will be very powerful, and you want to integrate that power slowly and carefully. Good luck. Con mucho, mucho amor. Aquario. Now is the time to get the ball rolling on your long-term plans for the rest of this year. You are having Pluto go direct in Capricorn, which for you is in your 12th house. And you also have a lot of planets in your 9th house, which is the house of travel and new chapters. And so what I see is that as you open up this book to a new chapter of your life, a lot of fears around change are coming up. You may have experienced relationships before where you felt like you made some mistakes, or you may have experienced the fear of moving into a new place and not knowing if you're going to make new friends or new connections, or feel connected to the community around you, or have the kind of support system that you really need when you move into a new place. These are all actually really important for you, Aquarius. Even if you don't let it on at the onset, even if you want to play it cool and pretend that you're fine, you actually need a lot of support, and you want to feel really connected to the people around you. And so these fears that are coming up for you now around past situations where you made big changes and then felt kind of out of sync or out of step with people around you, these are coming up for you to examine and for you to keep in mind the kind of relationships that you're looking for, even as you move forward with your plans for the next chapter. These are not coming up for self-sabotage or for you to stop what you're doing because of a fear of the past coming up to get you. So remember this week that if you are having a lot of fear about things that have happened before, about patterns that you've engaged in that you no longer want to be a part of, especially as you move into new arenas in your life, remember that it is up to you to make the changes necessary so you don't end up in the same place again. Good luck. Con mucho, mucho amor. Pisces. Welcome to the first week of October, Pisces, and for you, a focus on community and connections with your network that will really inspire you and make sure, let me do that one more time. I lost it. Okay. Action. Pisces. Welcome to the first week of October, Pisces, and for you, a moment to take a pause and a step back from the world. You want to be very deliberate and intentional with your energy now, as Pluto goes direct in your 11th house of ideas, inspiration, and community projects. The 11th house is usually the house of friendships and connections, social networking, and especially the ideas that we have around how we want to show up in community and how we think community should be structured around us. And because this is Pluto moving in this particular house, you might have some very strong reactions in social spaces at this time as you recognize how sensitive you are to the people in your life and the people who influence you around you. Because as Pisces, we have very soft and permeable boundaries, and so it is very easy for people to influence you. It's very easy to pick up on the energy of others, and it's very easy to feel impacted personally from the emotional content of other people around you. And this week might feel especially powerful in that area. So you might want to take a break and take a moment to really be intentional about your energy, really cleanse yourself so you know what it feels like to be clear and to be just with yourself and just with your emotional motivations without taking on anyone else's process or anyone else's feelings or anyone else's stuff. This is a week where that might be especially powerful energy, so you might want to take a break and come back next week when you feel much more grounded in your sense of self. Good luck. Con mucho, mucho amor.